Have you ever found yourself at a crossroads in life, torn between what everyone else expects from you and the quiet whisper of your own heart? Picture this. It's Friday evening, and you're sitting on your couch, scrolling through social media. You see your college friend posting about their promotion, while another shares pictures from an exotic vacation. Suddenly, that familiar feeling creeps in, the one where you question whether you're doing enough with your life. But here's the real question. When was the last time you asked yourself what truly makes you feel alive? Before we dive deeper into this conversation, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Are you joining me from the bustling streets of New York City, perhaps sipping your morning coffee? Or maybe you're tuning in from somewhere in Europe, where the sun is just beginning to set. Share your location and local time in the comments below. I'm always fascinated by how these ideas connect us across different time zones and cultures. Let me tell you about Sarah, a marketing executive I recently met during one of my workshops. She had everything society tells us we should want: a corner office, a fancy title, and a network of professional contacts that could fill an auditorium. Yet every Sunday night, she'd find herself dreading the upcoming week. During one particularly honest moment, she confessed, "I feel like I've built someone else's dream." Her words resonated deeply with Carl Jung's concept of individuation, the lifelong process of becoming who you truly are, not who others expect you to be. Jung believed that our greatest battle isn't against external forces, but rather against what he called the persona, the mask we wear to meet societal expectations. He suggested that true fulfillment comes when we courageously choose ourselves first, embracing both our light and shadow aspects. This isn't about selfishness. It's about recognizing that until we understand and accept our authentic selves, we can't genuinely contribute to others or the world around us. Consider how often we sacrifice our genuine interests for the sake of pleasing others. Maybe you've experienced this in your own life, volunteering for projects at work because you didn't want to disappoint your boss, even though they drained your energy. Or perhaps you've stayed in relationships longer than you should have, believing that walking away would make you seem unreliable. These patterns align perfectly with Jung's observation that many people spend their lives living according to scripts written by parents, teachers, or cultural norms. The journey toward choosing yourself first begins with awareness. Jung emphasized the importance of paying attention to your dreams and unconscious signals. Remember those moments when you felt completely absorbed in an activity, losing track of time and space? That state of flow, as modern psychology calls it, often points us toward our true nature. For Sarah, it was her secret passion for painting that kept calling her back, no matter how busy her corporate schedule became. Let's explore a practical example from daily life. Imagine standing in line at your local coffee shop. The barista asks for your order, and you instinctively request your usual latte. But deep down, you've been curious about trying matcha tea. What stops you from making that change? Often, it's the fear of judgment, or simply being too accustomed to playing it safe. Jung would argue that these small moments of choice accumulate over time, shaping our relationship with our authentic selves. The concept of the shadow plays a crucial role in this process. Jung described the shadow as containing all the parts of ourselves we deny or suppress. It's not necessarily negative sometimes. Our shadow holds incredible strengths we've been conditioned to hide. Think about talents you might have buried because someone once told you they weren't practical or profitable. Perhaps you loved writing poetry but were encouraged to pursue a more stable career instead. Embracing these hidden aspects requires courage and patience. Here's where things get interesting. When we start choosing ourselves first, resistance inevitably arises. Your family might express concern about your new direction. Colleagues might question your decisions. This reaction actually validates Jung's theory about the collective unconscious, how deeply ingrained social expectations influence our behavior. But consider this: every great innovator, artist, or leader throughout history faced similar resistance when they chose authenticity over conformity. Let me share a personal story that illustrates this point. A few years ago, I found myself struggling with whether to continue in my established career path or pivot toward sharing psychological insights through online platforms. The decision wasn't easy. It meant stepping away from financial security and facing uncertainty. But through journaling and dream analysis, techniques Jung himself championed, I began recognizing recurring themes pointing toward this new direction. Today, connecting with viewers like you confirms that choosing authenticity creates ripple effects far beyond our immediate circumstances. The process of self-selection isn't linear. There will be days when old patterns reassert themselves, when the comfort of familiarity seems more appealing than the unknown path of authenticity. Jung recognized this cyclical nature of personal growth, describing it as a spiral rather than a straight line. Each time we circle back to similar challenges, we approach them with greater awareness and wisdom. Consider how this applies to something as simple as setting boundaries. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing others. Yet every time you honor your limits, you're practicing the art of choosing yourself first. It might start with small decisions, like declining an invitation when you need rest, but gradually builds toward larger acts of self-advocacy. Jung's work with patients revealed fascinating insights about the power of symbols in personal transformation. Have you noticed certain images or metaphors that consistently appear in your life? Perhaps you're drawn to specific colors, animals, or natural settings. These aren't random preferences, but rather messages from your unconscious mind, guiding you toward greater self-understanding. Paying attention to these symbols can illuminate your path toward authenticity. Now let's talk about relationships. Choosing yourself first doesn't mean isolating yourself from others. Quite the opposite. When you're aligned with your true self, your connections become more meaningful and reciprocal. Think about friendships where both parties support each other's growth rather than compete or compare. This dynamic reflects Jung's idea of the self with a capital S, representing the integrated whole that emerges when we embrace all aspects of our being. Remember those feelings of inadequacy that surface when comparing yourself to others on social media. Jung would suggest these moments offer valuable opportunities for introspection. Rather than suppressing these emotions or letting them control your actions, you can use them as entry points for deeper self-exploration. What does this comparison reveal about your values and aspirations? How might you redirect this energy toward pursuing what truly fulfills you? Practical exercises can help strengthen your ability to choose yourself first. Start by dedicating 10 minutes each day to journaling without any specific agenda. Let your thoughts flow freely, noticing patterns and recurring themes. Another powerful technique involves visualizing your ideal day from morning to night, paying attention to how you feel during each imagined activity. These practices create space for your authentic desires to emerge naturally. The timing of this conversation feels particularly relevant given our current cultural moment. We live in an age where external validation is constantly available through likes, shares, and followers. Yet despite this constant connection, many people report feeling more disconnected from themselves than ever before. Jung foresaw this paradox, warning about the dangers of identifying too closely with external achievements or personas. Let's return to Sarah's story for a moment. After months of working with these concepts, she made a courageous decision. She didn't quit her job immediately, but began allocating specific hours each week to her painting. Slowly, she transitioned from hobbyist to selling her work at local galleries. What started as honoring her creative impulse eventually evolved into a thriving second career that brought her genuine joy. Her experience demonstrates how choosing yourself first isn't about drastic changes overnight, but rather consistent, intentional steps toward authenticity. As we wrap up this exploration, I invite you to reflect on a specific area of your life where you might benefit from choosing yourself first. Is it setting aside time for a forgotten passion? Perhaps it's learning to say no without guilt or investing in self-care without apology. Whatever it may be, remember that this choice honors not just your present self, but also your potential future. Before we conclude, I'd love to hear from you. Have you experienced a moment when choosing yourself first led to unexpected growth or opportunity? Share your stories in the comments below. They might inspire someone else watching right now. And if you're finding value in these discussions about personal development and psychological insights, consider subscribing for more explorations into how ancient wisdom meets modern life. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Carl Jung's profound insights about choosing oneself first. Wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is for you right now, remember that the most important relationship you'll ever have is with your authentic self. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep choosing you.